Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is ZvT back with another point of view cast. Once again between myself and Esturlizzuma. Quite a bit going on before this game. I've actually dropped a lot of positions on the ladder, and that's because like I'm on tilt. I'm actually going crazy. I'm losing to stuff that I shouldn't lose to. You know, you spawn close positions, 1 or 2 games, get cheesed a couple times, and you want to cheese back, try it and fail. Doesn't help. And I'm paying for it definitely right now. So this is actually the last ladder game of the night I'm playing. As you can see, I was like, what is he doing? I still went for my standard 14-14 opening. I'm not seeing a barracks here, and I'm not seeing a command center, so I'm thinking he's proxying me. Now, you have to understand at this point I want to cheese so bad. I just want to get this game out of the way, and look at that. Now obviously my overlord was scouting here because you always scout across first on this map. I pulled back because you don't want to let him know that you saw that. I want this to finish or come close to finishing and then either kill the SAV or hit it before it turns into a orbital. So another thing, I do coach if you're interested. You can send me a message on Battle.net. I'm really close to getting a new computer so I can finally start streaming. So yeah, send me a message, LagTTJEcho, character code 955. So he did throw down that Rax. Now I know obviously it's not a proxy, and I'm just thinking, if I let him back into this game, then like I shouldn't be playing Starcraft. So, gonna wait, still waiting for that to finish. I still couldn't decide what I was gonna do, and I decided that when I'm on tilt and I cheese and it fails, I get pretty pissed off. And when something like this happens, which should theoretically make it even easier for me to cheese, if I was to cheese now and fail, that would not be good. So I decided against it. Not gonna cheese, gonna play a standard game. Getting my 4-lings out. My timing was probably off because I underestimate or overestimated the amount of time it would take for that building to finish. But regardless, I know I'm gonna force it to lift off, and to my surprise there it is, already turned into an orbital. But I am gonna catch this mule for free. Only a free mule and a free SCV. I am definitely really far ahead right now. I mean, he's not gonna be able to make, you know, anything out of this orbital for quite a while. It is still gonna gain energy, but I know he's not gonna be able to attack me for quite a while. So I'm just going to be able to drone like a crazy person. And I actually played a PvZ, which I should probably cast on this map against someone else, where something similar happened. He went for a Forge Expand, blocked me into my base, and I went crazy with the drones. And I was top left at that point. He actually came out with like 20 Blink Stalkers, and I was not expecting that. So he showed me a Stargate. I was preparing for that. So I did have Hydras, but not enough to catch Blink Stalkers. Like, they move fast. So my plans in this game now are to take an early third. So there it is. Because I know that not only is he behind for building the orbital, but he's behind because he hasn't made any money off of it. I killed it, the SCV that built it, I killed the mule that came out of it, and he didn't get to make anything else. So he should be really far behind right now. I am poking this ramp, and here's one thing. I'm going to turn on the vision just momentarily. You have to make your Zerglings work for you. So I want to show you, looking at his vision, he can't see what's out here. He just sees a Zergling poking. He may not have wanted to build these 2 barracks and this supply depot. And actually, I still could have Baneling busted him because he didn't seal the wall completely. But anyway, he would have died. Okay, that's kind of upsetting, but you want to force them to put stuff in places they don't want to. He's not going to want to build his reactors here. As you can see, just getting in the way of all of his other stuff. So you have to always make sure that you poke the door with your Zerglings. Make your opponent fear what's on the outside, what they can't see. Which at this point really is just the one Zergling. But he has no idea, so I'm still just pumping out the drones. Getting my tech because I have no idea what he's doing. I don't want to get lamed out by a couple Banshees or a couple Hellions. I'm getting my overlords all spread out. I want to have complete vision of the map. And I'm still poking, so I didn't even notice that he left this whole side open. But getting out a couple preemptive roaches. Now, a lot of the time, it's hard to tell when games don't go standard where you are exactly. So there's a couple things that I'm thinking. I basically want to get my creep spread connecting these bases. I got a couple roaches because, you know, he could be going for fast medevac drops, and I don't want to get abused by 2 medevacs, one here, one in my main, and start losing just because of that. So also getting these roaches so I can poke the ramp and actually see what's back here. I want to know what he's defending with. What was he going to use to stop my baneling bust? And gonna see that tank fire, getting in there, losing a couple roaches, but definitely worth it to see that he went for the tanks. He's got the bio, I saw the medevac, so I know everything that's happening right now. And switching to the production tab, that is going to tell me I need to produce some zerglings. Like I said, you don't want to lose because you were super greedy. And a good thing to know is that it takes 30 workers to fully saturate a base. So I'm sitting at about 50, and that means I know he can't have too much more than me. And I definitely know he doesn't have more than workers than me because I've been making tons of drones. So I know I'm ahead economically, and that's going to let me put down, you know, spine crawlers, stop drone production temporarily. Looks like I restarted. Once I had these bit of units, I was comfortable to shut down his drop, and especially since he showed it to me all the way over there. So I'm going to do my best to take minimal damage from this medevac, and really the key is to get underneath him. And here comes a push. Now as soon as you see this 16 lings in production, it's actually not that big, but a lot of the time, if you're not fortunate, they'll just walk over, kill the Zelnok Tower, and there could be a lot coming behind that. So really want to just make sure you stay alive.
Our forces are under attack.
So I've now passed that point where there's no way he can have better saturation than I can. He could still be making more money because of meals, but other than that, so because of how well this game opened for me, I was able to get my fast fire. Here's a little bit of the engagement. Definitely trying to get those banes on the Marines, but with stim, not so much. The important thing though is to clear out the tanks. As long as it's not a huge number of Marines, you can retreat, and Roachling will do a good job against such a low number of units. And as you can see, I already got Overlord spread to watch for the drops. I should started pooping some creep actually, but now this is where I get a little nervous. I know he doesn't have too much, but you don't want to be contained on your side of the map by the Terran, especially this map. I've been finding I like the changes that they made, but expanding to these bases is quite tough just because of the tower, the choke, and like the range of tanks can almost hit that. Place a tank in there and it can shell down the expansion. So he's finally caught me in harvesters, but I've got quite a supply lead. Perfect. He's gonna stim, not even gonna get one shot off on these mutas. So I'm just gonna switch back to the production tab. Really, I'm just focusing now on trying to get control of the map back. I want to see what's going on. You really can't survive as Zerg if you can't see what's coming, which is why close positions on a lot of maps is just so terrible, because without Zelnok Towers, we really don't even have a chance. I mean, you can see how he's kind of bullying me around, and I have to be careful. I have to tiptoe around, because if I fly into the wrong position and lose all my units, I could still lose this game, even despite how far ahead I am. And mutas are the best way to fly around, pick off any stray units, and just to get a general idea of what his position looks like. I'm just using hold position here, and perfect timing to see that he had just started an expansion. I don't know how many workers I killed there. I guess I killed about 5 workers, so pretty good. And he's already got the turrets up. I'm not gonna fly in there. Still just trying to get up my muta count while I continue droning. And at this point, I should be basically teching to everything. I want to have multiple evo chambers going. Really, you can see the only factor restricting me is my gas, and the reason I haven't expanded to these bases is because he's going to start shooting them really shortly if I do that. So trying to wait till these bases are really maxed out before I force myself to move out anymore. Still trying to push out my creep spread. You do want to try to at least keep him here. If he gets any closer where he's separating your bases, it's going to be a really tough game. So there we go. Infestation Pit, Spine Crawler, getting those upgrades. And I didn't know this till after, but it's because I've played a lot of games where you see this and it doesn't look like too much. You bring in your whole army and then there's tons more stuff back here, and not a good feeling because once you move in, you really can't back out. Tanks and Marines will kill and chase everything that you have. Not the tanks chasing, obviously, but stim Marines. So I wasn't interested in risking the game. Once again, I came into this with a huge lead, just because of that little trick that he tried to play down here. So I feel like as long as I play a standard, solid game, then I should win this. And that's awesome for me, seeing that expansion going down, because I'm going to be able to at least force the cancel. Really important about the creep spread. This can keep me alive if he dares to leave his little fortified position. So really, I just want to try to cut off any reinforcements, get a better idea of his composition, and while I'm doing this, I'm teching to Hive, getting those drops, getting the pathogen glands. I really want to be able to exploit basically everything that Zerg has. I'm even going to get some free kills here. If you can tell, he's all the way in the middle of the map. He's not going to have such a good time guarding his production facilities. This probably would have been a better time for me to go over here, but, you know, at the time, I was focused on taking down tanks. So finally another drop here by him. I didn't find this harassment to be too effective. If we pull up the income tab, I'm sitting on 80 drones, so that's why I never even moved them. I mean, 3k minerals, I didn't even care if I lost the drones. I was more concerned about losing a tech building, so I didn't even bother to move them. Just gonna re-throw those guys onto gas, starting to take those other expansions. And now that I've been mining out 4 bases, my gas is really getting to a nice spot. I am gonna tech to that ultimate endgame composition of Broodlord, Infestor, Corruptor.